guys, what is up? So I finally got my new camera. If I look a little bit yellow, don't mind that because I still don't really know how to work this camera, but I figured that I would try to record this video on the new camera so we can like start upping the quality of my videos so that they don't blur out in the middle of me speaking about something. Today's video is going to kind of backpack off of my last video, and it's going to be how to embrace singleness. It is such a gift to be able to fully give to yourself and not worry about literally anybody else. I know a lot of us don't want to be alone, or we fear being alone, or we're just using somebody else to distract ourselves like I have done in the past. And I think that looking at singleness as less of like a pessimistic type of thing, like, oh, you're single, like what, is nobody like you? And more as if you are single right now, you are granted the gift of fully focusing on yourself and diving into all about you. And here in this video, I'm going to teach you the tips and tricks on how to embrace singleness and not make it such a bad thing. A lot of times we try to manifest things before we're actually ready to receive them. So when you're single, you are in the perfect preparatory phase where you can just fully focus on your vibration and focus on your energy, because once you raise your vibration, you end up attracting bigger and better things anyways. Step number one is it is time for you to explore. Being in a relationship does take work. I know some people are like, if it takes work, you're in the wrong relationship. But any relationship, whether it's a platonic relationship or a romantic relationship or the relationship with your family, takes work. Because of our own subconscious beliefs and trauma responses, a lot of us have become people pleasers and compromise ourselves in order to keep other people in our lives, and that is not acceptable anymore. Being single allows you to finally be selfish and figure out what it is that you want to do with your life. Where do you want to live? How do you want to wake up in the morning? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be known for? What hobbies do you have now, or what hobbies would you like to pursue? What job would you like to have? What is your dream ideal self? Because now you can actually accomplish those things without having to think about, oh, will this person move to that city with me? Will this person be accepting of the job that I want to do? Is this person going to support me through thick and thin? Now you just got you. Exploring yourself is one of the most rewarding paths you can take, because it's almost like a Mary Poppins bag where you just keep pulling stuff out left and right. You will discover things about yourself that you never knew before if you actually learn yourself. We are so focused on becoming close with other people, but I doubt most of us have close relationships with ourselves. Try new hobbies that you put on the back end for another time. Find a new source of income or another source of income. Start that business or that podcast that you are always thinking about. Go to Reiki and healing classes. Go travel somewhere that you've never been before. Read lots and lots of books. Books have taught me 99.9% about myself. Take time to become your best friend and learn the most about yourself, and you'll be surprised what you actually discover. Step number two is get new boundaries and standards. I made a whole entire video about this. If you want, I can link it down below on how to raise your standards. And it is so important that when you're single, you are hyper focusing on your boundaries and your standards. Not only for the people that you already have in your life, but for the people that will potentially end up coming into your life. Because something I learned with the universe is it likes to test us. So when I'm like, yeah, you know what, I'm done with guys that, I don't know, don't text back after a few days, they'll send me a guy that doesn't text back after a few days to see if I'm really gonna get rid of him or if I'm gonna fall into the trap. So be careful, because the universe likes to be like, oh, you thought you were done with that, and will actually test you to see if you are done with it. You should not be rewarding the bare minimum. You should not be rewarding basic human decency. I'm going to assume that if you're watching this video, you're not 3 years old, and I can assume that you're not dating 3-year-olds. So you should stop treating these grown adults as children. People know what they're doing. Whether they like to play dumb or not, they know exactly what they're doing. So I've been reading this book on boundaries, and it's really helped explain to me what exactly boundaries are, where mine lie, because I always heard the word boundaries, but I was like, what are my boundaries? I feel like I don't know my boundaries until somebody does something that makes me mad, and that is just not healthy. At the end of the day, you cannot change people, but you can change yourself. I think a lot of us are scared to set boundaries because we're scared to lose people in our lives, and that is exactly what is keeping low vibrational people in your life that are blocking your blessings and blocking you from reaching the levels and meeting the people that are actually meant for you. If you set a boundary and the relationship falls apart, it was faulty to begin with, and that person does not deserve to be in your life at all. For example, when I set party boundaries with a lot of people when I was still living in Miami, I lost a lot of my friends. Or they were like, oh, what do you think, you're too good for us? What do you not want to hang out anymore? Like, what are you up to? People would just get snotty and snooty about it. And I was like, Bye, I don't care. Because you know what? You are the exact people that are not coming with me to the next level of my life anyways. Instead of worrying so much about the people that you're letting go of, start thinking about who it is that you want to grow with, because those people are way more important to you. Embracing singleness means you are going to look at your past relationships and see where it is that you compromised your boundaries, what you were not valuing, where you lowered your standards, where you didn't love yourself enough, where you didn't value yourself enough, how we can heal that. You are never going to attract bigger and better if you keep running back to the same thing over and over again. And if you were removed from a situation, you should thank God every single day that He gave you a grace period to really figure out what it is that you want and where it is that you align in the future. He saw you in a bad situation and gave you that grace to start over because you deserve more. Boundaries aren't just for other people, they are also for ourselves. Boundaries with how much time we spend on our phones, who we allow to text us, who we give our time to, what we give our time to. Boundaries with how we speak to ourselves. We need to have boundaries with ourselves and hold us accountable, because when you hold yourself accountable and you start holding yourself to a higher regard, you then start attracting bigger and better things, and people start looking at you in a higher regard. You can't expect people to value you and appreciate you if you don't value and appreciate yourself. You can't expect people to love you if you do not love yourself. Everything around you is a mirror of everything you think about yourself inside. If we don't uphold our own boundaries, not only are we disrespecting ourselves, but nobody else is going to uphold them either. Step number 3 is stop waiting on other people. Now, when you're single and you no longer have a partner that's going to come along on everything with you, it could get annoying when your friends don't want to do the same things that you do, but this is the perfect time for you to build confidence in yourself and start doing things alone. How you build confidence is by doing things, and the only thing you need to actually do the thing is courage, and then over time you'll end up building that confidence. If you want to go to a restaurant and nobody else wants to go, try it by yourself. I used to get so nervous about going to restaurants by myself, and now I get nervous if somebody even dares to come and try to talk to me, because I'm like, please, no. I literally went to go get a nose job in a completely different country by myself, and the reason why I was able to do that is because I started getting used to doing things all by myself. And then eventually you'll reach that level of confidence when you're like, yeah, I could go to a different country by myself, I could get a surgery by myself, I could do literally whatever I want by myself, because I know I got me and I have the confidence in me, and I don't need people to come along the journey if they don't want to. You are your own person. You should not allow people not coming with you to hinder your life and your experiences. If you want to go on that trip, go on that trip. If you want to do that pottery class, do that pottery class. Stop waiting around for people, because sometimes those are the exact people who will never do anything at all, and you will be waiting your entire life for somebody who never had plans to go in the first place. Step number 4 is to trust that you are meant to be single right now. If you weren't meant to be single right now, you wouldn't be. I think we get over our heads and we try to push for things, and then we end up going after the things that are actually not meant for us. And if you feel like you have to force something, especially a relationship, just know that you are in the wrong relationship. There's nothing wrong with being in a period of growth for yourself. I wish people actually took the time to be single, to learn themselves and prepare themselves for a relationship, instead of just hopping from one person to the next and bleeding all their trauma, all their subconscious beliefs, all their issues onto everybody else. Just because you're not in a relationship right now doesn't mean that you never will be. I actually find it funny that sometimes we are the people that are actually not ready for a relationship. Like, I always thought it was everybody else naturally, and it was like, he's just not ready for a relationship. But when I really looked inward, I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I'm ready either. Hold yourself accountable if you actually are ready for a relationship, or you just want a partner and comfort because you're feeling lonely. Trust that you are being prepared, and trust that this is how your reality is supposed to be, whether you just got out of a relationship or whether you've been single for a while now. Trust that there is something behind the scenes that is greater than what you might know right now, and the only thing and the best thing you can always do, relationship or not, is invest in yourself and focus on yourself. A relationship should just be like a little addition, like the sprinkles on top of ice cream. It shouldn't be the whole ice cream. Accepting your reality is going to stop a lot of the pain in your life. I find that a lot of us, when we don't accept ourselves and when we don't accept what's going on around us and our reality and where we're at in life, that is what causes us to have so much pain, when we believe that we're meant to be something other than what we are, and we're meant to be living a different way than how we're living, and that our reality is supposed to be different, because if it was meant to be different, it would be. Obviously, in your singleness and in this period of growth and peace by yourself, you are meant to learn something that is meant to catapult you into the next level. Honestly, relationships distract you from a lot of stuff. You have to worry about somebody else's feelings. You have to worry about, you know, what they're doing, their financial situation, their living situation, their mental health. Like, there's so much to worry about. And right now, you have the time to just worry about you, just focus on you, and get yourself to the most optimal level. Accepting your reality lets you stay in the present moment and harness all the beauty that is around you. I fall into the trap of always believing that I'm meant to be so much farther ahead than I actually am. And I did this especially when I was younger and in high school. I felt like I was supposed to be 10 years ahead, and it caused me to feel so depressed and so down on myself. And the thing is you're eventually going to reach there. You might not reach there when you're 15 years old, you might not reach there when you're 21 years old, but you will eventually reach to the point in your life where you're acting 30 and you're being 30 and you have all these things and you have the relationship. So enjoy where you're at now, because I even look back on my high school years and my college years and I'm like, damn, those moments were so fun, but I was so miserable in them because I felt like I had to be 10 years ahead of my time. You can either accept reality and let the universe guide you forward with the wisdom that you have, or you can let the universe guide you, resist the whole process, kick and scream the entire time, and still get to the same destination at the end of the day. Step number 5 is self-love all the way. Like I said before, when you're distracted with other people, you take a lot of the attention away from yourself. I know people who hop from relationship to relationship and they need that constant attention and validation because they're avoiding something within themselves that needs to be brought to light. These people are also very dangerous to get in relationships with, so if somebody tells you that they just got out of a relationship or you end up finding out that they just got out of a relationship, yeah, I would let them go. Being single is when your self-love needs to be turned all the way up. In the world of media and in a society that just values success and money, I'd say that self-love lacks within all of us. We compare what others have, we compare what others look like, we think we're supposed to be somewhere that we're not, we get jealous and envious over other people, we think that there's something wrong with us. And when you don't recognize yourself as the wonderful being that you are, the world will start to project the same image that you have as well. You have the access to everything that you need within yourself. And I used to get so annoyed when people would say that to me because I was like, no, I need this person to like me, I need this job, I need this amount of money. And then I just realized that all of those feelings that I was wanting, love, security, safety, I can feel those things now. And they have nothing to do with anybody else because I control how I feel now. Sometimes it takes being in situations where your self-love is compromised to see where it is that you lack self-love. Do you lack to see the value in yourself? Do you lack to see how hardworking you are? Do you lack seeing that you are good enough and you are worthy of good things? None of us give ourselves enough credit for probably anything. We're always just in this hamster wheel of going around and around trying to do more and more, achieve more, do more. But when are we actually really happy with what we're doing right now and who we are right now? You can always do better, and striving to do better and be better is not a bad thing. What's bad is when we end up developing the self-conscious beliefs that we are not good enough, and that is why we have to change. Staying in situations that hurt your mental health is a lack of self-love. Staying around people who do not see your value is a lack of self-love. Staying in jobs that do not see your value is a lack of self-love. Love yourself enough to wake up in the morning and go to the gym. Love yourself enough to go to that job and actually get paid what you should be getting paid. Love yourself enough to move to that city and see if you actually want to be there. Love yourself enough to go meet somebody new and give yourself a chance at real love. If you believe you can, then you can. But if you believe that you can't, then you can't. Believe in yourself and give to yourself what others cannot give you. When you chase admiration, validation, money, success, fame, you will end up chasing forever. You might get that thing, and I promise it'll never be enough because numbers never end. If you are not happy with yourself as a person, there is no relationship, there is no job, there is no amount of money, there is no house that will make you happy. Until you find happiness within you and believe that you are good enough, everything outside of you is not going to be good enough. And you can even get those things, and then you'll just immediately jump to the next thing because you're just not happy with you. And that's really what the issue is. Yes, you can build self-love by affirming to yourself, like, I love myself, I value myself, but overall, self-love comes from giving yourself the life that you truly deserve. This means showing up for yourself and speaking kindly to yourself. You're never gonna get to the place you wanna get to by shaming and putting yourself down. And you're never gonna get to the place you wanna get to when you're surrounded by people who don't wanna see the best for you either. You need to reparent yourself to love yourself in a world that told you not to. Okay, everyone, that is my first video on this camera. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you got some beautiful, helpful tips along your single era. Embracing singleness is ultimately about embracing yourself, and I can't wait for you to discover how truly amazing you are and do such amazing things with your life and give yourself everything that you deserve, because you can give it all to yourself. You do not need anybody to be giving it to you, or you don't have to wait around for somebody to give it to you. You are capable of loving yourself, and you are capable of giving yourself the world, and then you'll end up meeting the right partner at the right time when people are just naturally attracted to the magnetism of how much you love yourself and how much you are embracing your life, no matter who's in it and who's not. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! I feel like it's a little better on this camera, maybe because I can just like see myself more clear. Okay, goodbye.